Jon Lovett and Tommy Vietor. Don Jr., as I was saying before, Don Jr. has struck a deal to testify before the Senate Intel Committee. Why would they strike a deal with him? He said no. They subpoenaed him. If he says no the next time, they can grab him by the short hairs and just drag him in front of the committee, per force. Why strike a deal?
I mean, I think part of it is all the Republicans in the Senate, aside from the chairman of the committee, Richard Burr, decided to attack Burr for threatening to issue a subpoena to Donald Trump Jr. in the first place.
Why do you think Burr did it? I mean, this seems like a bit of a stretch for any Republican to go against Trump in this way.
Well, I think it was so obvious. I mean, the Mueller report comes out, and when you look at the Mueller report, clearly what we know from the Mueller report about Don Jr. Does not track with the testimony he gave last time he was in front of Congress.
Stephen, there's a chance, and I don't want you to get upset, but Donald Trump Jr. may not have told the truth to that committee.
Not on the level. Not on the level.
And the thing about it is, I'm so sorry. I'm just glad you're sitting down.
I thought he was the good one.
No one's ever said that before about the Trump kids. But no, but there's a reason Republicans in Washington got so angry at Senator Burr for showing just the slightest modicum of country first, bipartisan, let's stand up for this institution. A lot of what's happening right now is this dirty deal, right? They make a deal, they get Trump sucks, they know it, but you know what? They get their tax cuts and they get their judges. Well, nothing makes a dirty cop more nervous than a cop who decides not to take the bribe. These are a bunch of dirty cops who made a dirty deal. And when somebody goes against that deal and acts even with the slightest bit of moral virtue, it makes them furious. Because what does that make us? You calling us dirty cops? Well, yeah, that's what he's calling them, because he did the one thing that every Republican said you can't do, which is actually respect the fact that these people may not be telling the truth, and there may be something to this story, which anyone who's not paid by Fox News or worried about a primary or worried about being yelled at by Donald Trump knows to be true. It is obvious. And Republicans have spent the last 6 months pretending what's obvious isn't real, and the second somebody points that out, it makes them pissed.
Okay, let's talk about something that switched over to the Democrats. You guys produced the documentary "Running with Beto." What happened to him?
I mean, look,
because he relaunched recently, which is always like,
You never
I'm sorry you had to relaunch.
You never want to launch twice.
You never want to launch twice, exactly. So what do you think is going on with him? Where's the magic?
look,
Because he's very compelling. I've interviewed him before.
Yeah, the best AAA baseball player is going to struggle in the majors, right? I mean, a Senate race is not the same as a presidential campaign. And he's learning that the hard way. And I think that it takes some reps, and you're going to get out there, and you're going to make a bunch of mistakes. I don't know if he's going to win, lose, do well. I don't think the campaign has been run particularly well to date, but they're improving things. They're hiring staff. So he's got time.
Yeah, I mean, look, one of the things he has to do is a lot more media appearances because, for example, his name is Beto.
Yeah, sure.
And people don't know how to pronounce that because he's not on television enough.
Right. Is he coming on? He's coming on. He's going to come back on here. We'll have a lovely time.
Obama was down 20 to Hillary around now. You know, that's the context that we all have to remember, I think.
So Beto is Obama. Got it.
I would say, like,
Got the message. Got the message, yes.
Like, right now, Democrats are taking little white cups and going up to various frozen yogurt things and trying them. You know, and they're tasting, gay mayor. Interesting. You know, they're trying different flavors.
I've had that flavor. I've had that flavor.
And the thing about it is, they stuffed their faces with Texas congressmen like 4 months ago.
Right.
And now they can't really tell. Is like, do I love it or am I sick of it? And they don't know. And then there's a big tub of Biden vanilla somewhere, and they're like, it. We'll just grab that thing and go home. You know? So who knows? Who knows how it shakes out?
Yeah.
He's been fine-tuning that one.
Now, what does the little white cup represent?
Nobody knows it. I don't know
What are the topics?
It's
No, I
not
listened to your
clear.
damn podcast. Elizabeth Warren turned down Fox News Town Hall. Good decision or not?
Great decision.
Great decision.
Why? It worked for Bernie. Bernie did a good job. Bernie got...
No, I mean, I went back and forth on this because I understand from an individual campaign's perspective why you'd want to go do this and, you know, show that you're trying to reach these voters. But I think Elizabeth Warren has shown over the last couple of weeks that she can reach those voters without going on Fox News. She went to West Virginia, heart of Trump country, and she's talking about the opioid crisis. And after she holds this event, a few people who are Trump voters are like, you know what, I might vote for Warren.
Yeah.
And those people are very different than going on Fox News, where you can draw a direct line from what Tucker Carlson and Laura Ingraham say every single night, right to the manifestos being written by some of these right-wing extremists who are killing people.
Yeah.
And I think, like, you know, giving them ratings and helping them with their advertisers, that's...
Hate for profit, as you
Yeah.
call it. Hate for profit. You can visit votesaveamerica.com and register to vote. Pod Save America, everybody. We'll be right back with BTS.